I'm Zach Harrison. I'm a glassblower. I work with borosilicate COE 33, and this is my lathe and my main torches. So right here, this box, this is what turns it on, off, and sets the speed. So right now it's on, off, on. The buttons, the green, go. The red is stop. And this dial sets the speed, right? So green button, red button, green button, speed. Stop. This is my smash bucket. When I'm picking away glass from any piece on the lathe, or if I'm working by hand and I need to get rid of the junk on the end of my punty, I score it, snap it, and crack it into this bucket. Then here's a pro tip as a glass blower. I got this, so when it's time to empty the glass, I could just take out this bucket and dump it into the recycling versus needing to try to dump this entire thing. When it comes to these chucks, that black knob, tightening it or loosening it is how you're able to open this up. So this wheel going down tightens, going up opens up those chuck teeth. Now when you're working, if you're afraid of something happening, there's almost no chance. There's like no chance of this pulling you anywhere. If anything, the worst thing that's gonna happen is while this is spinning, you might get close enough where it hits your knuckle. That's it. This bar right here, if you're getting close enough and you're leaning over to work on something, worst thing that's gonna happen is that it's gonna rub grease all over your clothing. And on this side, we have the same thing. Same chucks, same knob to tighten it closed or loosen it so you could open up those teeth. This wheel right here controls the side where my hand torch is on. This wheel moves the side my main torch is on. This is what my national hand torch looks like up close. The red knob is for propane, the green knob is for oxygen, and the connection point is through these splitters. Now, the propane comes from right here, a little old barbecue griller. This tank cost me 26 bucks to have replaced if it's delivered right to my door. I set the PSI to 10. And this could last me anywhere from 5 days to 2.5 weeks. When it comes to using the Bunsen burner, it's as easy as opening this valve and then using a spark or a flame to start the fire. This is omnidirectional, or rather multi-directional, whatever one is the right word, meaning that I could take each of these nozzles and move them in their own separate direction. My main torch is a GTT Mirage. This is a custom aftermarket handle, so it's easier to move the torch around versus having to move it, holding it from here or holding it from these knobs. It's just a lot easier to use. There are 7 knobs. The top 3 knobs, this controls the propane, the oxygen, propane, oxygen. These are for the first stage, this is for the second stage, and this is how you switch between the first and the second stage. You would just flip that on. Let's check out what that looks like. This tip for this mouthpiece is what I puff into when I'm glass blowing. The air goes through this silicone tube, past this swivel, through this arrow, out of whatever hollow opening I insert there, whether it be a glass tube or something like this joint adapter where you have the hole out like that. The reason why I use this silicone nesting egg is because when the wheel starts turning, I don't want this arrow to be swinging around, because what would happen is it would pull out and detach from whatever it was I was actually trying to puff into. My lathe table I built so underneath I could store all of the glass tubing, or at least a lot of the glass tubes that I would be working with, so everything is just right there, easy access for me to work with. Now I've showed you the source of the propane. The oxygen, those green lines, go through to my oxygen concentrators and tank. When the PSI, this tank gets filled with concentrated oxygen, and that's what my torch taps into. These concentrators, what they do is they take in the ambient air, the surrounding air, they filter it, they concentrate it, and then they stuff it into this tank. So if you could see the silicone hose coming out, and it goes into the back of this tank, that automatically kicks on when the PI drops below 7. As soon as it drops below 7, is in between 6 and 7, that's when this automatically kicks on, and it shuts off when it gets back to 11 PSI. And I am tapped with my regulator, goes around this little block. I put this up because I didn't want any hot glass possibly ricocheting and touching anything over there. Goes through underneath my lathe, so I'm not. If you're gonna be blowing glass, you're gonna need some serious ventilation unless you're outdoors. This is my setup with the big inline fan and a noise muffler. Makes it much more bearable. It really dampens down those dBs when working, especially when you're standing right under that vent. And speaking of vents, this little one right here, this little exhaust chute, attaches to the back of this tent. But what's in this tent? What's inside of this Vivo Sun Grow tent? What do you think? Let me know. It is, boom, my Bamboo P1S 3D printer with a modded Tapo camera, so I could actually monitor what's going on in there in real time without lag. If I'm working with any toxic, if there would be any toxic fumes off-gassing from whatever filament I would be working with, the carbon filter would suck that in, filter it out a bit. The inline fan would shoot it out. And when my vent is turned on, it would just shoot out right into the vent. And the rest is kind of just storage, shipping table, other glass that can't fit underneath my lathe. And in here, I have some other tools, prepared joints, these are German joints, for example, pre-made, ready for me to rock and make something new with. Hey, I just wanted to say, I appreciate all of y'all tapping in with me today. If you want to check out how I actually use these tools and what it's like in my studio, come kick it with me in one of my live streams. I live stream like multiple times every single day pretty much. And one thing maybe I didn't go over is my oven. When I'm working on pieces on the lathe, as soon as I'm finished with it, it's going in here so it doesn't cool down too quickly. I typically have the temperature at 1050 degrees Fahrenheit, and at the end of the day, I let everything cool down and come to room temperature together. Appreciate y'all. One last thing, I really appreciate y'all. Show me some love, like, subscribe, drop a comment, leave some emojis. Let me know what you're thinking, if you have any questions or if there's anything you would like to see me make. Appreciate y'all.